First of all, I think this is a demonstration that drones now are sort of the ubiquitous currency of modern warfare. And it's something that perhaps yesterday it wasn't, it is today. Drones are having an impact. And the person who wins the drone war, if you like, is going to have a significant advantage. So we've now seen that Europe has woken up. It's not only the Estonians who've developed this drone, but the British are doing a lot of work into lasers with the realization that you can't use air defense missiles like Stingers at $500,000 a pop or Patriot missiles at $4 million a pop to knock down $500 drones when there are tens of thousands of them. So lots of people are working. What the Estonians have come up with their Mark I drone, which is something that they say it's the size of a baguette, a French roll, a stick, very small, relatively cheap. They're being a bit circumspect about it, but we're sort of thinking about $50,000 a pop. Flies pretty quickly, 750 miles an hour, range of about 2 kilometers. But very importantly, guided to its target by AI. So one of the issues that we're having at the moment is electronic warfare. And again, he who controls the electromagnetic spectrum, again, controls the battlefield. So one way that an attacker can prevent us knocking down his drones is by saturating the place with electronic warfare assets, as we are doing at this very day in Belgium to support the attacks on the Belgium airports. So a drone like the Mark I, which doesn't have the issues of electronic warfare, really looks to be the potential answer, simple to use, guided by AI, and is a reflection that this is a threat that we've really got to take seriously. And as the Estonian defense minister says, we can't bankrupt our country by trying to affect this. But it's a realization that in any conflict with any threat, you've just got to try and stay one step ahead of your enemy. I think the other really significant thing about this Mark I is the Estonians say they have put their very best scientists to it. They put their rocket scientists who maybe last week, maybe last year were working on, other projects, but they're gathering together to get the best brains, as we are doing at Porton Down on the laser side, to overcome this. And quite frankly, Europe and the West should be able to overmatch, the Russians if we put our intellectual horsepower behind it. But the Mark I looks like it could be part of the answer. There will be other things as well, but it looks very, very promising at this stage. If we can match sort of rocket technology with AI, the possibilities are almost limitless. And even at $50,000, when you think this is something that you use once, it's only traveling 2 kilometers. At the end of the day, what has got to be done is this missile has got to hit a drone. And they're saying, fairly substantial drones like the Shahed and even bigger ones that are creating so much mayhem in Ukraine at the moment and potentially could as well in Europe. So if you can get that thing to hit the target, which it's looking promising at the moment, they're at 60% success rate with an aim to 90%, then actually $50,000 is pretty good value. If you're protecting an airport or critical infrastructure, and this drone could do millions of dollars worth of damage, then that makes it plausible. Ideally, I mean, the Brits are talking about firing lasers at considerably less than that, but that is a capability even more sophisticated that probably is not going to come on train for a couple of years or so. And the essential thing with these sort of things is you need to get them on the battlefield or protecting critical infrastructure now, because in 2 or 3 years' time, your enemy, the Russians, no doubt will have come up with something else to oppose that. So, yeah, I think this seems to be a good value asset. I mean, in Ukraine, the other way they're doing this is using what they call interceptor drones to almost fly into these drones. Now, what I understand, that works quite well in Ukraine, but it requires a real expert pilot. And the Ukrainians have got lots of them because they're doing it all the time. And if you think, if we grew that in the UK, you're going to be paying somebody quite a lot of money to do it. And each time you have an interceptor drone, that's going to cost money. So if you can have this autonomous system that can be far, it doesn't matter if anybody's around, but cued onto target. It looks promising. And I say it's part of the system. Any resilience you have to threats is usually a variety of different capabilities: hard kill, soft kill, electronic kill, or intelligence to make sure that you can get inside your enemy's cycle. So, on the face of it, I think it looks very promising. I think we need to be very careful about, putting all our eggs in the drone basket, if you like. Drones are certainly having a massive impact on the battlefield, and I'm very conscious writing a book on tanks at the moment, and a lot of people are saying, well, the drone is making their tanks irrelevant. Well, that is a dangerous assumption to make. Certainly, the drones are absolutely essential on the battlefield. But actually, now that we're seeing, let's just look at tanks. Tanks are actually using their own drones now to help them to find their targets, to help them take down drones that are trying to attack the tank. So the drone issue is absolutely synonymous with current and likely future battlefield. But there will be something else that comes along as well. And what we must do is make sure that we produce capability to enable us to operate and fight in the current environment. And that current environment is hugely drone dominated. But whether that will be the case in 10 or 15 years' time, who knows? No doubt something else will come. But we must fight the current battle, and the current battle is being fought with and against drones.